Hello YouTube. This is Shade Wisdom. I'm and welcome to part one to Eve Online. What I wish I knew as a newbie. I've been playing Eve Online for about 1 year, and this is just a compilation of ideas and thoughts that I wish I knew, and I started to kind of do and think of and research and look at when I first started playing Eve Online. So, the first thing about Eve Online is I started learning about Eve Online before I decided to play it. And this is where I would suggest everyone start at is start at thinking about making a decision to play or not play Eve Online. Before you start making that decision, I would like to direct you to some YouTube videos. So go to YouTube and search Eve Online. Eve Online has an actual YouTube channel. On this channel, you'll find the scope, which is the first top, and the scope is the lore, the background, the what is happening in the universe of Eve Online right now. Below that, you have trailers, and I want to point out the This is Eve Uncensored or This is Eve 2014. There's only one word difference between the two, but please do watch this. And this is the trailer that first got me interested in Eve Online. Um, Before this trailer, I heard of Eve Online. I didn't really get interested in it. I didn't really look at it. I didn't do any research. But I saw this trailer about a year ago and I was like, wow, that looks really interesting. So um, I started doing a little bit more research in Eve Online. And what I found was this universe that I never knew could exist in MMORPGs. And that brings me to the other videos. Now, Eve FanFest 2015, the video that finally made me decide to start playing Eve Online was not a FanFest video, but it was an Australian video, Australian Eve meet. So players in Australia and gathered, and one of the presenters there, Kigali, gave a presentation on Brave and what Brave was as a corporation and what it brought to Eve Online. It was this brand new idea in Eve Online that in the last several years of Eve Online had not been thought of. Was having fun. This is a game, so you should have fun. So this video of Kigali talking about Brave is what actually decided for me to make the decision to play Eve Online. Um, this is Eve got me interested. Kagagi Kalakali and his Eve Down Under video made me want to actually start playing. So when you are starting to look into Eve Online and make that decision whether you want to start playing or not, I highly suggest taking a look at some videos and seeing what is there. There's a lot of stuff in Eve Online that I didn't even know was possible in a video game until I actually started playing and diving into it. The EVE Online show is a great example of that. Diving into my YouTube subscriptions here, one of the things that I would suggest taking the next step after you kind of do some research and find out if you want to play EVE Online is take a look at the EVE Flight Academy videos. Now, these videos are more for the individual who's leaning towards playing EVE Online. And anybody who still is in that area of not wanting to play EVE Online, don't keep watching this video because I'm going to continue to talk to the individuals who are going to play EVE Online. If you don't want to play EVE Online, don't play EVE Online. If you think you might be interested in EVE Online, keep watching and change my language however you see fit to apply to you. If you're going to play EVE Online and you want to give it a try, thank you for sticking with me. Before you even try a trial version, before you even try and subscribe, I highly suggest taking a look at EVE Flight Academy. Now, EVE Flight Academy has some very, very cool videos, and they're talking about very, very basic things dealing with the actual game itself. And there's so many flight videos. And these are just probably 60% of what EVE Online has to offer for new players. There's a lot of stuff. Take a look at the names of the videos and see if anything interests you. Watch the ones that interest you. Don't watch the other ones that don't interest you. Um, the only exception to that is if you don't know what something means, take a look at it. Find out what it means because any type of game you start playing, there's going to be some jargon. And it's nice to know what that jargon is before you start playing the game. And it's especially true for EVE Online because EVE Online is pretty elaborate. I'm not going to use the word difficult because it's not. It's not difficult. Everything in EVE Online is rather simple. It is very simple. However, caveat, it is not easy. My meaning is this. EVE Online is so vast and so expansive that just the reality of the possibilities in this game can weigh on you very heavily. And it could push players down. It could push weaker individuals to a point where they do not like this game. And I don't believe that you are the type of player that can be dissuaded so easily. Everything in this EVE is very simple. It's just not as easy as you would hope to in any other MMORPG. Think of every single other MMORPG as Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and think of EVE as Game of Thrones. What kind of world would you rather play a fantasy role in? That is that question. And when it comes down to actually playing EVE Online and you get discouraged, ask yourself that question. What type of gamer are you? It's just that simple. And this is what I like about EVE Flight Academy. There are very, very simple things to do. If you want to be an explorer, there's a few videos, like one or two, that you need to watch in this EVE Academy. And once you watch these 2 or 3 videos, you are going to be able to explore, and that's it. If you want to be a PvP, like I'm going to go ruin another person's day, there's a few videos in EVE Online Flight Academy that'll help you do that. You want to be a trader, if you want to be a merchant, you want to be a hauler, these are things that you can learn in EVE Flight Academy. The exception. The exception is these videos, API keys, and planetary interaction. Now, planetary interaction is a very passive, slow thing. It's difficult to explain, but it's still very simple. And I've been playing EVE for a year, and I'm just getting into planetary interaction. And as I get into planetary interaction, I wish that I had gotten into it when I first started playing. And this is why. It is very passive ISK. ISK is money. It's very passive money. For about 20 to 30 minutes per week, you could make an additional ISK pile of money. And that just gets better with time. Whether you are new or old, putting in a few minutes a week to planetary interaction will help you gain some ISK. And once it's set up, it actually decreases the amount of time you need to spend in it. Once planetary interaction is set up, you need to spend less and less time dealing with planetary interaction. And you start getting more and more money. So take a look at it. Again, it's not a necessary thing. It's not something that you need to do. It's just something that I wish I would have started sooner. So that's that. Things about EVE Online when you first started playing and when you first start thinking about playing, take a look at the YouTube videos that are available. Do a search for EVE Online. Do a search for videos on EVE Online. There's so many things out there. Some of the things I watch, like Mr. Hyde, he does some very, very intricate, long PvP, solo PvP videos, but this is more for PvP for battleships. So you aren't going to be getting into battleships for at least 6 months to a year. But his videos are still pretty freaking awesome. Eve is Easy is one of the ones I would start with. Eve is Easy is great because there's a video on very, very new characters. If you just start out and watch some Eve is easy videos, you can get an idea on what you need to do to be successful very, very early on. One of the earliest videos I watched on Eve is Easy is a Kestrel video about 14 days old. So a person started playing Eve and they had 14 days of training, which is experience, 14 days of experience playing Eve Online. And that Kestrel was able to do some massive PvP wins, doing some good shit. So take a look at YouTube. Eve is Easy, Flight Academy, Eve Online, and the final YouTube channel I would recommend watching. There's so many out there, but specific ones is Clahame Eve. He hasn't put any videos out in a while, but his solo PvP videos are actually really good and they really taught me a lot. So please take a look at YouTube. My final pieces of when you first start playing EVE Online is get involved with the community. And what I mean with community is take a look at EVE Online. Not just as a video game, but as a community. Look at the EVE Online Facebook group. Now, I do not suggest joining the Facebook group unless you are willing to commit to EVE Online. That means if you're willing to actually put your real name out there. Facebook is one of those things that you need to put your real name out there to play. So don't join this group unless you're willing to do that. If you're willing to do that, great. There's so much information in the EVE Online Facebook group. Little cool stories, just a lot of good information. Outside of EVE Online, there are other social media outlets. Reddit is a big one. It's huge. I do not like Reddit personally, but that's just me. There's a lot of information on Reddit. When there's information that's pertinent to me that is put on Reddit, I usually learn about it through TweetFleet, which is a Twitter feed specific to EVE Online. EVE Online actually has a Twitter account. EVE Online and Twitter has a very specific relationship in that there are a lot of CCP developers that have Twitter accounts, which is the best thing about TweetFleet that I can ever think. I was playing Eve and I noticed something with the graphics, and I tweeted about it. And a few minutes later, a developer tweeted me back and said, "Hey, that's interesting. I'm going to look at it." You don't get that with any other games. You get that with EVE Online and you get that with CCP because they are that concerned. There are so much great things about CCP and TweetFleet that make it important, not important, but it's great. It's if you have Twitter, join TweetFleet. Take a look at TweetFleet. If you don't have Twitter, you can make a Twitter account specifically for your Eve character. This is an actual Eve photograph right here. This is an Eve character. This is not anything real about this account. It is a person, a character in a video game that tweets about the game TweetFleet. And this is not unique. There are so many characters out there that do things for Eve. Rix Javix is an excellent example. He is a graphic designer who works on not just pictures that look awesome, but videos, television, movies. He is a great, great personality to get to know. And I highly suggest you take a look at what he has to offer, what everyone has to offer in the TweetFleet community. So really, please take a look at this stuff because there is so much information out there and so much cool little neat things out there. All right. My final piece to part one of my video is a shout out. A shout out to what EVE Online and CCP and TweetFleet and Reddit and all of the community does for its own community. And nowhere does this show more prominent than in the donations of real world money. Now, just a few weeks ago, an EVE Online player and their family lost their home to a fire. Um, and the EVE Online community responded by donating thousands of dollars towards this family. Um, this is not a unique occurrence. The Nepal earthquakes, TweetFleet donated several $100,000 to that relief effort. And again, this is not a unique thing. When there's something that requires aid, the EVE Online community responds. No other game can boast that type of humanitarian assistance. So please, 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 if you decide to start playing EVE Online, get involved with the community because I guarantee you will not feel more welcomed in any other video game out there than in the EVE Online community. We love our community, and it's something I've never experienced in any other game out there, and it is great. It is truly the most awe-inspiring thing about EVE Online is all of this community stuff. So that's me. That's my initial heartfelt welcome to Eve. Please come play Eve. Please join Eve and come fly with me and come fly against me. Come blow me up. Come be put in a situation where I blow you up, and let's play some serious games. This is part one of what I wish I knew as an EVE Online player when I initially started playing EVE Online. Please stay tuned and please come back for my part two, which will air pretty shortly in the near future. Thank you.